Hey, guys, this is Spider-Man. Of course, not the one from Season 1, but you get the picture. This is a reminder to stay in school, chase your dreams, and review Wayne Z0207 podcast on Spotify so more people can discover aspects of study and video creation. Now I have to stop Venom from hurting MJ. Spidey out.
In a tight crunch for scholarships. Trying to get around the writer's block for your net PBO. We've got you covered. Welcome to Life of a Content Creating College Student. With your hosts, Waite Z0207 and Charlotte Waite.
Hello folks, my name is Colton W. Hurst, also known as Waite Z0207 on the internet. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 8 of Life of a Content Creating College Student.
Hello, and this is Charlotte, co-host back again.
To Zoe, a returning co-host? Feature co-host? All of the above. Zoe is here.
Recurring guest is the proper term for it. And this is no ordinary episode, guys. I am joined here by none other than the promotion team leader of Hearst Entertainment and my dad, Clint's Cowboy Cuisine.
Hey, yo.
So, anyways, I hope all you folks are doing well this time of year. We're getting close to the end of the winter term. Some pretty exciting developments have been happening. I mean, so many things have been happening in general. Mind if we share what we've been up to lately, to some extent?
Oh, absolutely. Well, over in top, we have been planning to go to Washington, D.C. Colton's joining us. And so we are in the process of ironing out details, which is always so much fun. My favorite things are the details.
So this will also mean that weekend, there will be no live stream whatsoever on Saturday.
Oh, no.
That's not fair.
We'll have to reschedule.
Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you folks, but I gotta take that time off. Plus, the trip itself is an opportunity in of itself.
Visit our nation's capital.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're going to learn a lot of things going on there. So, Charlotte.
Yes. We'll enjoy, won't we, Colton? Colton, what's one thing you are most excited to see?
Ooh, I'd have to say a couple things. The White House and, to some extent, the Library of Congress.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, we won't be able to go into the Library of Congress, but we get to see the outside and take a picture shot. And it's exciting because why, Colton? What's your personal connection?
I have 2 copyright applications going at the moment, and we're bound to hear back from that pretty soon.
Yes.
So,
copyrights are processed in the Library of Congress.
Absolutely, they are indeed.
Yeah, we got I think we have 2 months left on that.
Yeah, about 1 month. Now, enough with the introductions. I'm going to go ahead and cut straight to the chase, folks. So, why don't you go ahead and ask the first question, Charlotte?
Okay, so we're switching things up this week to focus on a serious note first, so then we can enjoy our time on the second half of the podcast. So, Colton, what are 2 things, or what are some things that were a setback for you in the last 2 weeks?
Okay. Folks, I need to be honest. I will not say who, when it occurred, and I won't say who was affected. But within the Waite Z0207 community, there's been a major loss recently. And for the record, I need to address that loss can take a toll on someone emotionally and physically. Fortunately enough, I have developed resilience during my career and through my experiences, and I ask that you all respect the parties involved as all of us navigate this trying time, because it doesn't just affect me, it affects all of you folks. We're a whole community. But however, I will not say who in particular is most affected.
Absolutely. And the other thing about it is most people don't like to discuss it, but, we all go through different periods of trauma in our life and or grief. and we all need to learn to address that. And here on the campus at OIT, for anybody that needs it, there is grief counseling and different avenues for each and every one of you to go through and be able to find an answer. Sometimes it may be through a psychologist, or it may be going to a church group or a support group someplace. But don't think that you're ever alone, that there's always somebody out there that's willing to help you.
If you're feeling alone and you need to reach out to someone, the National Suicide Hotline is just 988, just 3 simple numbers.
Right. And always remember that grief is there in the absence of someone that you're missing. And so grief is an emotion where love is not there. And so remembering that grief is just your expression of the love you weren't willing to give someone, and so, or weren't able to give them before they passed. And so remembering that grief isn't always the negative people think it is, but sometimes it's just the release you need in order to feel the love that you're missing.
Absolutely.
And trust me, folks, I'm no stranger to loss. In fact, loss is one of the reasons why I have been creating all this content in the first place. It's been my whole inspiration to live up to what would have been my grandmother's last wish, was for me to look after humanity, look after one another. She always had that kind spirit. And that I felt that was what would have been her last wish to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyways, it is easier said than done because, as a caring fan base, I know some of you will go to great lengths to help the people affected by this event. However, it's not your responsibility to meddle in another's affairs, and it would put you into more pressure than happiness, and I don't want that for you folks. Regardless, I need you folks to understand that travesties like this happen, and certain factors are out of our control. It's important to remember that you can't control everything that happens in life, and that you can't be responsible for the actions of others. As a fan base, you are many. However, as individuals, you are only one person, and you can't solve all the problems in the world. So it's important to focus on the things you can control and what you can do to make a difference. That being said, though, Dad and I would like to bring this to your attention. The streams are merely on hiatus. They're not being discontinued.
Absolutely not. And here at a later date, we should have a new place set up by mid-spring, hopefully before Easter. But we'll have to see what we can put together in that amount of time.
Yeah, that's a fast turnaround before Easter, beginning of April. Yeah, and different things affect timelines, and just as a fan base, ask for understanding and patience and continued support, right?
Yes, folks, this is definitely important. So anyways, we want to make it clear that my streams haven't been canceled and I still want to keep them going. We are simply taking a moment to make sure that they are properly managed and that any issues are resolved before bringing them back. Additionally, I have no access to a good chunk of my equipment at this time. Therefore, I am unable to provide many updates or answer any questions about the streams I simulcast on Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We hope to have everything resolved soon and resume the streams as soon as possible. That being, having my equipment in one place and a set location to record. Thank you, folks, for your understanding.
We can start hyping up when you guys have a date where you can start the streamings again.
Yeah, almost like a grand opening of the new space.
Opening? No, I love it.
Yeah, this
we can
is
start
exciting.
a countdown.
Yeah, I was going to do a little bit of a tour of my original setup, but that got delayed. And so with the circumstances that we've been given, a tour video like that won't be possible. But however, there will be something similar planned out.
Absolutely.
We'll do like a welcome to my crib, like a
Hello, MTV.
Yeah, this is my crib. Absolutely, absolutely.
No, it'll make it even more exciting, right?
Right.
So Colton, what 2 things in the last week went well for you?
Oh, actually, before we do that, one thing we can take away from the setback, we can only do one thing. Move forward. Time never stops for anyone, and neither should we stop for it. Every day, despite the harsh circumstances brought upon us, is a chance to get out there, showcase our talents, and carve memories for those we love. Cherish those moments, for tomorrow is never guaranteed.
Absolutely. Make the best of today.
So anyways,
Don't forget to celebrate state birthdays and state anniversaries.
Right, yeah.
Buy that cake for
I
the state birthday.
heard one time a fish said, just keep swimming. Just
Ooh.
keep doing that. That's
Good advice from fish. Yes.
So anyways, the two things that went well for the last 2 weeks. Despite what had happened, I had a strangely comfortable time during week 5. On Monday, I was rushing to get done with my coursework after what happened the weekend before. All my professors kept asking me, "Why are you here?" Here's what I said. Despite what has happened, I care about my education, and I would never sacrifice my dedication for immediate emotional satisfaction. There are times in life when all we can do is push forward. Considering the situation I am in, however, I cannot give it 110% at college for this week. I would like some guidance on anything that I need to correct and the time to get the things that I need to get done outside of normal class hours on my own merits to avoid any inconvenience. If attending class would do more harm than good, why do it? I wish, at the very least, to be present in some form. So any day that it was possible, I got whatever I needed to do for each of my courses done, made sure everything was on point, and signaled to head home early for the day so I could spend time with my family and loved ones. It is the least I can do to show my commitment to Oregon Tech and my studies. It's a long and heavy road. It's a road that I walk with great joy and gratitude. And then around a couple episodes back or so, I remember talking about how Alex got together with me at Bravada for some coffee, especially mochas. For the record, we did so again, except there were not 2, but rather 3 of us in the group. Another old elementary school buddy, Lane, decided to join us for a good get-together. We had a plentiful chat about many things, including Valentine's Day and the Carnation Ball. I'd been dying to go, but at the time, and this still holds true, I don't have anyone to go with. The gang did give me some good ideas, though. Eventually, I found out that the Carnation Ball organizers would allow me to bring as many guests as I wanted, so I was hoping Lane, Alex, and their girlfriends would be joining me. However, they had to decline. So, folks, don't expect to see me at the Carnation Ball.
When is the ball?
It's this Saturday.
Oh,
5 to 9
5 to 9?
on Saturday.
But you have all your suits.
I know. I have a conference I'm leaving for.
Yeah.
So that's sad. Go Stag. Go alone.
Yeah.
We won't go into the history of Valentine's Day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is
Probably for the best, folks.
no. You'll have, no matter if you go with a group or by yourself, I hear that event is a blast no matter what. You're going to be welcomed with open arms.
I have no doubts about that for certain, but here's what my dad told me, if you would do the honors.
What did I tell you? Remind me.
During the dance, you said, always have someone with you.
Always have somebody. There's safety in numbers. You never know what's going to go on. Make sure somebody knows where you're at, who you're going with, and how long the event lasts. Because you just never know what's going to happen. Could be an earthquake or something. Remember, we had a shaker in 1992 and a couple of aftershocks after that. So, just make sure that a loved one or a roommate or family member or somebody that you know and respect knows where you're at all times.
Yeah. That's great life advice right
Absolutely.
there, actually.
Yeah. I think it's almost like survival life rule 1, right?
No, yeah.
Like buddy
Absolutely.
system. Go with someone.
Buddy system. Share your location.
Yeah.
Have a tracker on you at all times. That's someone has.
Bring up the leashes.
In Washington, D.C., put a leash on them in Washington, D.C., make sure everybody has a tracker.
We're going to air tag him as we send him off.
Yeah, I'm gonna make all 12 students wear the little monkey backpacks with the leashes as we go through the Smithsonian's. That'd be great.
So anyways, I grew not in the matter of work ethic. I've always had that. Rather finding a quicker way to get things done with little to no hassle. What we creators and students need to do is find simpler, easier, quicker ways of doing things. Work smarter, Not harder, as they say. And then, for the theme of this episode, our random fact of the day, there's a phenomenon known as third man syndrome, in which people undergoing traumatic, life-threatening experiences feel the presence of an unknown party, such as a spirit, offering advice or comfort.
Absolutely. There's different times in everybody's life. You may not know it, but there's an old Indian saying that after the loss of somebody in some time in your life, that person is going to come back to visit you. And most of the time when that person comes back to visit you, and spiritually, it may be in one of the spirit animals, such as a wolf or a deer or an elk or a beaver. But most of the time, a spirit animal is a bird of prey, like an owl or a eagle or a hawk. And so when you're experiencing times like these, if you look around and all of a sudden a bird of prey is flying at you and it comes and it lands in a tree next to you, that's one of your loved ones stopping by to check on you.
Yes. I've heard that with a cardinal, which is very much not a bird of prey, but
Yeah.
it's interesting, different cultures.
State bird of Maryland.
Probably. Who's the Cardinals baseball team? Are they in Maryland? That makes sense. I don't know sports.
Yeah. That makes
Orioles,
That
Baltimore Ravens.
Who are the
never mind.
Cardinals?
Who are the Cardinals?
Irrelevant.
Tell us in the comments below.
There you go.
All right, Charlotte.
Yes. What did you do as a college student in the past 2 weeks?
Let's be honest here. With things as crazy as they are, can you truly keep up with everything that goes on in the classroom? Realistically, this would be near impossible. As a reminder, workaholism's going out and about. Should one be struggling with work addiction throw themselves into a work as a coping mechanism to evade the difficult concept of trying times? Absolutely not. Now, should one struggling with work addiction make priorities and get whatever they need to get done as soon as possible so they have extra time to spend with their families? Absolutely. Essentially, that's what I've been doing these past 2 weeks. If there was something for a class I needed to get done, let's say a poster or a creative work, I would go and take care of it so I didn't have to worry about it later. I had to iron out any absence penalties on my grade. However, considering my attendance rate for most, if not all my classes, I am ahead of the curriculum and what was taught so far. However, as a student, know that I am in good hands and will continue to strive for excellence and insightfulness in my studies. One thing that astounded me in the past 2 weeks is Adobe Express works like Canva. So the rumors of Adobe trying to buy out Canva, consider them debunked.
I've actually recently been seeing the ads on Adobe Express, and I've been thinking every time I see them, they've been popping up on my YouTube, how much they're just ripping off Canva. Yeah. I feel so bad for Canva. And especially since Canva's base package is free. I don't know about Adobe Express. Just,
Right.
I don't know. I'm partial to Canva.
Even the Canva full experience is
Mhm.
only $100 a year.
Oh, it's excellent.
It's so
a
cheap.
bargain.
Yeah, no. Good luck, Adobe.
Right now, the business experience on that side is 50% off, so you get it for $200 for the year.
And that's actually for Wix, what I have used to design the Waynesy 0207 website, which I will touch base on here in a moment. So,
Jump the gun.
basically, anyways, Charlotte and Zoe took the words right out of my mouth. Adobe Express is just like Canva. So, anyways, for once, this is a software from Adobe that has had most of its flaws examined and corrected. It seems like Canva and Adobe finally found a way to merge their powers without causing a software Photoshop between them. It's a grand combination indeed.
Yes, I haven't had a chance to use Express yet. But I would be interesting to toggle around and see how user-friendly it is and how compatible it is too. There's some benefits in Canva that I really enjoy, like their post scheduler and their ability to create really great PowerPoints. I'd be interested to see how those translate to Adobe if Adobe Express has those features for scheduled postings or PowerPoint or things like that.
I'm interested a little bit in the way you said software Photoshop. I'd be interested in how close their softwares actually are and being very similar. Thinking like zeros and dashes, whatever the codes look like, how similar they would actually be.
Yeah.
Imagine back when they first wrote code for computers and stuff, we only had dial-ups. So if you were using a drafting CAD or something, and say your little brother or little sister or your mother or father or somebody got on the hard line and called somebody, guess what you lost? You lost your internet signal. You lost everything you've been working for. So congratulations. Nowadays, you don't have that problem. Everything's out there in the cloud, and you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Absolutely. And I'm thankful.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think we were privileged to move through the dial-up era and really appreciate it. What we have.
A 900-pound computer in our home offices.
Oh my goodness! Can you imagine OIT at this point?
Now and forever is instant gratification. You can get it from your phone. Yep. Any place you go, you have your internet. You have services available to you. So don't forget to utilize those services and do the best you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I want to tag on, don't forget to stretch yourself to not be as reliant on the internet, too, and appreciate your time spent outside of computers.
Yeah.
I think that's important as well.
I think people will say touch grass, but I'm going to tell y'all to smell the roses.
Yeah. Roll around in that grass.
I tell you to go and visit your grandma and grandpa and dig out the old Encyclopedia Britannica and read up.
Yeah. A to AZ. Continue.
And I'm going to say, if you can get stuff done in a quicker way, why go the hard route? Using a shortcut will save you plenty of wasted time and energy. Trust us, you'll thank us later when you find yourself with extra minutes in your schedule to spend with family, friends, and loved ones. And with that being said, as a content creator, I recently came across a plugin known as OpenVino. OpenVino is an AI plugin developed by Intel to enhance the experience of certain programs. OpenVino is compatible with a variety of programming languages and can be used to create a variety of AI applications. As I was speaking with Charlotte following Season 2, Episode 7 about a possible AI audio editor, a few days later, I heard that it turns out that the OpenVino plugin is compatible with Audacity.
Yeah! We love Audacity!
So, the features Audacity has with OpenVino include music separation, music style remix, noise suppression, music generation, and whispered transcription. With the OpenVino plugin, Audacity can process audio data more accurately, allowing it to identify and separate different audio sources, create remixes of music, reduce the background noise, generate music, and even transcribe whispers. Tried installing it on my laptop using the tutorial that I found on YouTube, to no avail. Looked on the GitHub website, seemed that the plugin needed to be set up with programming languages C++ or Python. So, what I had to do? After some help with Zach Lore, we discovered there was no need to use Python or C++. One problem remains now. Troubleshooting an error which Audacity refuses to read the plugin. So what has happened is Audacity, when I first used OpenVino after doing it, how the instructions on the website that Zach led me to told me to do it. After opening Audacity, it said that Audacity wasn't willing to read the files, and they registered as failed.
No.
They can't read?
Yeah, go back to kindergarten.
So, looks like there's another thing that I need to hit up Zach for. So anyways, with OpenVino installed, there'll be no background noise in all creator voices. Other than that, we are still at odds and ends with how to go about live stream production going forward. We will iron that out soon, folks, I promise. Meanwhile, I am happy to announce that because of a recent Business 256 assignments, the Waite 0207 website and Fourth Wall Breakers Den Discord server are now online.
There we go.
Really?
Yes. The Discord server is open 24/7, and our website always welcomes new visitors, with all social media channels in one place. I have used the business plan of Wix to design the website to its full potential, and I used Adobe Express to generate the QR code for the site. If you see a flyer with a QR code, go ahead and scan it. Any website traffic is welcome. Any new follows and subscribers are appreciated.
Muchas gracias.
De nada.
Hasta lumbago.
This is great.
Thin. Well, how did, sorry, you're asking for the next question. How did the overall production turn out if you created any form of content this week? And how can you improve your content and your experience in the future with these plugins?
People have said nothing but good things about the Waite 0207 website, and I can't wait to see how the community interacts with the Waite 0207 brand given this new change going forward. You can access the website at www.waite0207-fourthwallbreakinggamer.com. The link is in the description of this episode.
Excellent. That's really fun. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. It's like a little present I'm learning about today.
I do have it saved to my bookmark bar, so I can look at the updates of when the streams are going to be coming back on.
Ooh, perfect.
Absolutely.
Anyways, quote.
Maybe, just maybe, when he gets back to live streaming, he can do a pinball challenge.
Ooh, I've been meaning to do one of those, and I think we might actually do two. One with Dad and one with an old friend of mine.
Will you release a little sneak peek, a little hint on who the old friend may be?
He's been with us since the very beginning of my career.
It's that feather guy.
GL Viking Fisherman 63. That's his internet username. That being said, here's our quote of the day to get ourselves back in ahead of the game. The man who views the world at 50, the same as he did at 20, has wasted 30 years of his life.
Or he was insanely wise at 20 years old. I'm just kidding. Or he was asleep. That's where I would be for 30 years. Coma?
He who dies with the most toys wins.
Ooh. There we go. That too.
Yeah, so what college events or different things that you went to happened on campus this week did you attend?
Okay, so attended my first OIT Christian Fellowship meeting for a long while.
Excellent.
And at the end of our session, well, in our episode notes, I was going to include a time code to skip ahead because this was going to be religious discussion over here.
Okay.
So, anyways, due to the fact that we have little time left to record the episode, I'm just going to cut to the chase. After the service, I lifted up a prayer with one of OIT's professors who is advising the Christian Fellowship to heal the less fortunate and to provide comfort and solace to those affected by pain and grief. It is the least I could do given the current circumstances. The second event I went to was the Black History Month presentation, which talked about how Black History Month came to be with the help of Dr. Woodson, who was a member of the African Americans, alongside other influential figures such as Rosa Parks and Dr. King. Going around the table, providing insights on what we learned, what we wish we learned, and how we're going to continue learning. And lastly, I attended Top's Valentine's Day celebration. Keep in mind, this is not the hopelessly romantic Valentine's Day we all know and celebrate annually. Rather, we celebrate the friends that we made along the way.
Absolutely.
All two of them.
That day was the same day that Zach Lore helped me to get the plugin installed.
Oh, so you just got a lot of things done, didn't you?
In honor of pals, you utilized the pal to help you out.
Yep, and speaking of keeping busy, if you have all caught up on your college work and you have literally plenty of free time to go, be sure to get your scholarship applications in.
Oh,
Deadlines
yes.
are closing in fast.
Oregon Tech Foundation Scholarship, deadline, March 1st. OSAC, April 1st. FAFSA, get in as soon as you can because that website's crazy.
All of the above.
Exclamation point.
And then on a scale of 1 to 10, these events would come down to be a 9. Near perfect. Only drawbacks are Valentine's Day, which was celebrated afterward, kind of lost its trend for me, and the Christian Fellowship meetings were held from 7 to 8 p.m., which leaves little time to do other things before we have to either get ready for bed or lose sleep. However, this is something we will likely not have control over because everyone's college hours are different and there are thousands of students attending OIT. Hoping for such an optimal outcome to have a time where we can worship and still have time for other tasks would be near impossible. However, each event was productive in their own way, and there was something to gain from each event going forward. So I have no complaints. The reason why I had to cut to the chase was because there is no klaxon horn this episode. No pop culture references, not too many fourth wall breaks. This is a more serious episode, folks. And I thank you folks for your understanding and patience. That being said, we're going to go ahead and go to the scholarly shoutouts. This first shoutout goes out to William Moore. In the previous episode, I may or may not have mentioned that William, one of my fellow students, offered to distribute the Workaholism Risk Assessment screenings for the Center of Wellbeing and Integrated Student Health Center. I was going to shout him out in the last episode, but it just so happened that his last name was blotted from my mind since it had been so long since I last spoke with him. This episode, he gets the first shout out of the episode. What he has done to help assess the risk in more classmates was truly a testament to the service he is doing for Oregon Tech and his community. William, if you're listening to this right now, I wish I could have shouted you out in the last episode, but now I'm rectifying this past mistake. Thank you for what you have done for Oregon Tech. And then the second shout out goes out to Elise Beth Balakis. Going through loss is one of the hardest things all of us need to deal with. Elise made this experience better these past couple of weeks. We had choir together in junior high and high school. We had the same class together for 2 years before it would be what I would describe as ages before we began studying together again. She transitioned to Oregon Tech in winter 2023, and she is studying in pre-medical imaging in the medical field alongside a fellow Mazama student I knew from my senior year of high school. When I made my return from what was a devastating weekend, I saw her earlier than I expected, and she gave me 3 things. Sympathy card, Pepsi, because I told her I liked Pepsi in a wine glass, and a series of chocolates, including assorted chocolate truffles. Words cannot begin to explain my appreciation for what she's done to me. She, alongside Shay Fincher, Dr. Fincher's daughter, also encouraged me to return to the OIT Christian Fellowship. Elise, I know it's been a long time coming, and I appreciate you wholeheartedly for everything you're doing.
Takes an army to get through things, right?
Absolutely. And your village has been here for you and will be here for you.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed your Pepsi in a wine glass.
It takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a nation to raise a man.
Absolutely. Oh, yes. Absolutely. And you have a pretty good nation behind you, Colton.
Of course. For our creator credit, first creator credit goes to Dan the Mushman. It's honestly a surprise that one of the smaller creators who doesn't mainly create content gets on this list. But the first shout out goes to Dan the Mushman, who has around 1,000 followers on TikTok and is the brother to former President Beeman of the formerly functioning and still glorious Hearst Entertainment. If you're familiar with plotters, then you know by now that having that as well as plenty of vinyl will allow you to print out merch in no time flat. Earlier these past 2 weeks, Dan told me that he has given me his plotter. Not only is rebranding under the way, but upgrades are as well. You could sort of expect me to begin providing merch to you all in a matter of time. You have done the fan base a service, Dan. I hope things are going well for you and your family. And then the second and final creator credit / shoutouts goes to Odd Giant AF. This is yet another small creator that is underappreciated for their work. They do Mortal Kombat 1 AI intros. In the most recent installments, Lee May from the Tyrannical Timeline teams up with Liu Kang from the New Era timeline after realizing that her master, Johnny Cage from her timeline, is not only being betrayed by that timeline's Bi-Han, aka Sub-Zero, but also the power of the Hourglass is corrupting Johnny Cage. Just as Liu Kang and Lee May were preparing to save her master, the Tyrannical Timeline's Liu Kang steps in and attempts to kill that timeline's Lee May. Just in time, Gira stops the Tyrannical Timeline Liu Kang from continued fighting and onslaught and reveals the truth about Bi-Han's betrayal. Yet the Tyrannical Timeline still remains divided, with a rebellious Sub-Zero planning to overthrow Johnny Cage. Afterwards, New Era Sindel, with the help of New Era Johnny Cage, holds a Valentine's Day party, which goes awry just like the other holiday parties. The MK1 AI intros are filled with comedy gold, jokes, and plot twists that will leave you at the edge of your seat, bursting with laughter along the way. Giant AF, we are looking forward to seeing how the rebellion against the tyrannical timeline, Johnny Cage, ends.
That seems so fun. I love that. How
Right.
creative.
Look at you shouting out the people who need more followers.
So thank you folks so much for tuning in. I know this was a little darker episode than most, but I appreciate your support every which way we go. So thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, there'll be disappointments in life, but us humans have the power to turn those disappointments into accomplishments. Clint's Cowboy Cuisine, thank you for coming in and helping me explain what was going on.
You're welcome very much. It's my pleasure.
This is Waynesy0207, aka Colton W. Hurst, the fourth wall breaking one-man army, signing out for season 2, episode 8. Good night. Stay safe, folks.
Yeah. Good night. Take care of yourselves.
And y'all have a great weekend.
Hasta la vista, baby.